Hi guys, welcome to LA Sport Channel. Okay, hari ni biasa kita bersama Cik Syarul. Hari ni kita bersama Cik Fika pula. Kita ada special guest. And special guest untuk podcast yang ketiga ni, kita ada akak kita yang comel ni, Dr. Fatin Nur Fatihah, which is congratulations. Baru dapat doktor after all the hard works and everything. Which is memang I'm very proud of you.
Thank you.
Because I've been with her quite long time, daripada age 10 until now.
Yes.
Until now kan? Until now. Okay, so how are you?
Alhamdulillah. Doing good. Yeah.
Doing good. I see the glows. Nampak berseri-seri.
Yelah, baru Alhamdulillah pass my Viva.
Okay.
So yalah, ups and down.
In sports
and academic. Dia tak sama lah. Orang buat PhD and then tak sama macam kita buat diploma, degree or masters. It's just different.
Faham sangat. Okay, since Fika tahu pasal Dr. Fatin, kita nak orang lain tahu juga Dr. Fatin kita ni. Boleh tak kenalkan diri sikit dekat adik-adik, dekat parents, dekat kita punya viewer?
Okay, Assalamualaikum. Hi everyone, saya Fatin Nur Fatihah binti Mat Saleh. Merupakan national athlete dalam kategori compound. Currently masih aktif dalam national team. Baru habis pengajian ijazah kedoktoran saya. So Alhamdulillah akademik saya dah habis dan saya masih berjuang dalam sukan saya lagi.
Wah, masih berjuang. Dia tak ada tanda yang
tak ada lagi. Macam lambat
akan stop ke apa, tak ada?
Belum lagi.
Okay, so status sekarang ni which is national team punya ni, and then what else, coach?
Currently saya juga merupakan coach untuk Negeri Perak, Sukma team. Okay, helping the Sukma team. And then part time, saya buat part time tenaga pengajar dekat UPSI.
Okay, part time saja.
Part time sajalah because I'm a full time athlete.
Wow.
Yeah, so full time athlete, full time student before ni. And then part time job lah.
Part time job. Sekiranya macam more focusing on athletes. Tapi yang others tu kiranya sekarang dah boleh part time lah.
Part time
okay, alright. So, since Fika dah tahu berapa lama dah kenal dah Dr. Fatin ni, kita nak tanyalah Dr. Fatin, since when terlibat dalam sukan memanah ni? Maksudnya dari segi umur atau tahun kalau ingat lagi. Boleh kata senang umur lah kan?
Umur lah
tapi nak mention ke pasal umur?
Alamak, macam kalau kita mention umur dah boleh tahulah berapa kan?
So agak-agak tahun bila mula serius dalam memanah ni? And then dah berapa tahun dalam sukan memanah?
Okay, so I start at the age of 10 lah.
Age of
10 tu dah jam 4. Okay, so tengah tahun dah jam 4 I start join memanah. Okay, nak kata mula serius tu not so sure lah bila. Because you tahu lah kalau during those day kan, kita ni masih budak-budak.
Betul.
So kita tak ada pun nak fikir pergi jauh ke. Kerja kita nak main.
Betul.
So saya pula dari negeri di bawah Bayu. Okay, so dari Sabah. And then most of the tournament akan ada di Semenanjung. Okay. Jadi apa yang membuatkan saya keep going, nak naik kapal terbang? Yes. Naik kapal terbang. Correct. So macam masa budak-budak kan. Okay, so ni ada game ni, coach kata ada game dekat KL, ada game kat sini kat sana, nak fly. Okay lah. So it just started macam itu. Saya rasa saya tak pernah macam bercita-cita betul-betul nak wakil. Tapi Alhamdulillah lepas form 5 saya dipanggil oleh national squad. Okay. So I think dekat situlah bermulanya career saya sebagai seorang national athlete.
Okay, so you start with a recurve first or you just go to compound?
I start with recurve first. At the age of 10 and then saya switch to compound masa form 5.
Masa form 5, which is how dalam 5 tahun 4 tahun jugalah main recurve macam tu?
Yeah, 7 years lah.
7 years?
Yeah, 7 years
with a recurve and then go with a compound.
Yeah, switch to compound.
So masa recurve tu ada main sukma?
Yes. Okay, so my achievement masa recurve, MSSD, MSSS, MSSM, and then even SUMA.
Wow.
So saya qualify pergi SUMA 2 kali, which is in recurve 1 kali lah masa saya form 3. And then masa saya form 5 saya dah switch into compound.
Okay.
Yeah, so sebelum SUMA, we have, saya rasa MSSM saya start wakil dari saya darjah 5.
Yes.
So I start darjah 4.
Darjah 4, so after 1 year tu dah pergi MSSD, MSSM?
Yes, already, the following year. So saya start darjah 4 tu tengah tahun. End of the year, coach dah bawa pergi national circuit masa tu.
Quite cepat juga progress.
Yeah.
Wah.
Cepat. After 6 months, dia boleh bawa pergi national circuit. The following year, awal tahun bulan 3 kalau tak silap, pun dah pergi national circuit.
Okay.
Alhamdulillah, I think that was my first medal. Masa tu kita ada 3 kategori.
Okay.
Kategori 1, 2 dan 3. I was only 11 years old, which I have to compete dengan abang-abang, kakak-kakak.
Yeah.
Masa tu.
Yes.
Right. Cuma baiknya masa tu was kategori 3, we have 20 meter.
Yeah.
Right, 20,
20, 30,
40 and 50,
25.
right? Something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I can remember sebab dia jarak dah berbeza sekarang kan.
Sebab I remember I got medal dekat 40 meter.
Oh, okay.
I think lah, 40 meter. So, and then masa tu I was only 11. So, dia macam,
and quite new because of 6 months you got a progress already.
Yeah.
So, this is
itu dengan bow kayu je tau.
Start with the basic.
Yes, just wooden bow. And then saya macam tak expect. And bila keluar result, I was there. And then macam mungkin tak dapat because underage.
Yeah.
So sebab masa tu hanya saya and my partner, 2 orang underage. Bawah 12 tahun.
Bawah 12 tahun.
The rest is above that.
And maybe dalam 12 tahun mesti ramai kan?
I think 13, 14, 15 lah paling ramai. So I was like, okay, mungkin kita ni bawah umur, so tak dapat medal. Dia punya expectation saya macam tu.
And then baru lagi kan?
Yeah. Masa pergi ceremony tu, tiba-tiba dia umum. Actually dapat.
So kiranya waktu pertandingan tu tak tengoklah skor dengan ranking?
No.
Okay.
So macam have fun je lah.
Have fun, just enjoy shooting. Okay. Kita dah mention pasal MSSS, MSSD and MSSM. Okay. So, Dr. Fatin pun dah go through all the process daripada sekolah-sekolah daerah dan negeri since at a young age, and then you start with 6 months and then you can go with MSSD and everything kan. So, dekat situ lah you punya perspective you, how important that we need to go level by level like MSSS, MSSD, MSSM. Penting tak? Based on you punya perspektif, penting tak kita go through all those things with kita punya sukan memanah ni tak macam sukan-sukan yang lain lah. And plus kalau nak compare dulu dengan sekarang, dulu kurang tournament, sekarang dah banyak. Tapi walau macam mana pun we need to go level by level, right? So okay, boleh sedikit bagi pandangan dan pendapat you to how the important of go the process first.
Right, okay, so sebab I started pun memang by process juga. Untuk MSSM kita tak ada pun. Even though I did start terus pergi national circuit. But to go to MSSM still kita kena melalui proses dia juga, the level. MSSD, memang kita kena. So you have to be the best among the best dekat daerah, then only you can go MSSS. Di antara dalam state tu lah. Because for me, kalau you tak boleh menang dalam your own district, macam mana you nak menang at the higher level? So that's why pentingnya kita go level by level.
Which is kita tahu dasar ataupun kita tahu at that stage kita punya saingan macam mana.
Yes.
So kita boleh agak for the next tu saingan dia macam mana.
Betul, because each level dia punya score is different.
Ya.
Lagi tinggi level tu, lagi tinggi skor tu. So kadang-kadang we need to be realistic. Okay, ada je yang macam, okay, I want to go MSSM, I want to win medal. Okay, tapi do you know how to win a medal in MSSM? So first thing first, you mesti go through MSSD, mesti menang. And then you mesti menang MSSS, which is kalau you nak menang MSSM, mesti you dapat gold medal lah. Then only you have chances dekat MSSM. Then tapi nak menang MSSM pun bukannya mudah. Look at the process, okay? Dan kita kena letak diri kita. Mana ni senang, kita buy scores. So you want to win a medal, you want to be at that rank, get that score. Work on your score. Then you boleh dapat medal. Sebab sometimes mungkin lah adik-adik di luar sana, dia mungkin tak ada orang share atau dia tak tahu yang I want to go to this tournament, saya nak menang medal. But how? Dan kita paling senang actually sebab score. You beat that score, letaklah. Okay, nak menang goal, you have to shoot 300. So during training, you have to shoot more than 300. Then only you have chances untuk menang medal at that tournament.
Tapi it's just sometimes kita punya agakan skor tu mendapati. Tapi bila during the real competitions tu, kadang-kadang dia more than that. Ada setengah just boleh ni. So which is very important to go process juga lah kan?
Process, yes.
Process. Because of you pun dah go through Sukma, dah go through MSS. So, and then, okay, one question is, bila dah go through, you dah sampai Sukma, so, you dah duduk dekat level Sukma. So, what do you think if let's say next compete to MSSM tu, you akan rasa macam sama ke ataupun different?
Okay, even though orang cakap
ke apa ke,
Sukma is higher than MSSM, but then you tak boleh underestimate MSSM sebab yang main MSSM tetap juga geng-geng yang main Sukma. Jadi for me, apa level sekalipun you tak boleh underestimate. Yang penting your process and your score. So to win bukan macam nak menang, tapi mana proses dia. Kena ada proses. You know what to do. And then mesti go level by level. You tak boleh jump. If you jump, boleh. Maybe you jump satu kali, but then bila you jatuh balik tu, it's very hard for you to come back.
Catch up balik lah. Okay, dah cerita. Lepas tu kita nak dengar pengalaman juga. Kan, pengalaman mestilah orang kata dah beberapa dekad dalam dunia memanah ni kan. Ingat lagi tak medal Sukma, Sukma, MSSM lah. Medal MSSM agak banyak tak collection? Collection untuk MSSM saja ni.
Okay, sekejap. Saya macam saya MSSM saya dah jadi 5. Form 1, Form 2, Form 3, Form 4, Form 5. Darjah 6 je saya tak pergi.
Darjah 6 tak pergi?
Tak pergi sebab macam tu nak UPSR kan. So parents tak bagi pergi.
Okay.
So I think from 6 tournament I brought back half lah. So 3 MSSM I did bring back medals.
Okay. So boleh kata koleksi yang untuk masa zaman MSSM tu banyak? Agak-agak berapa medal tu?
30
ke 20 ke? Sebab kan dulu kan ada
dia banyak, yes.
Dia ada jarak kan? Setiap event tu dia ada medal kan?
Betul. Kita main 4 distance. And then we have individu. And then also team. Masa tu tak ada mixed team lah. So 6 medals setiap kali main. So tak ingat lah berapa. I think it's a lot lah juga.
Tapi okay, dah kita tanya pasal medal, kita nak tanya juga pengalaman. Ingat lagi tak? Which is kalau kena macam throwback sikit lah kan. Masa zaman budak tu kan, which is first started career tu. Ada tak pengalaman manis ke, pengalaman yang pahit ke, mencabar ke?
I think I'll take it as pengalaman manis lah. Okay, sebab memang saya start at the age of 10. Saya pun tak besar pun. Okay. Kecil je. And then during my time, saya main bawah 12 tahun. Kita tak ada kategori bawah 12. Saya main kategori bawah 15. Which is masa tu 50, 40, 30, 20. So saya pakai bow kayu je, wooden bow to shoot a 50 meter.
Okay.
With a 28 pound.
28 pound?
Ya, 28 pound saja. Sahaja.
With the height yang tak berapa nak tinggi?
Tak berapa nak tinggi, pakai wooden bow and aluminium arrow. No stabilizer, only clicker available.
Bare bow
lah. Dia macam bare bow, just with the side lah. So, pengalaman saya setiap kali pergi game, Yelah, saya tarik 28 je. Okay. Nak shoot 50 meter ni. Bukannya tinggi pun. Every single time saya kena cari pokok dulu.
Why?
Okay, that's where I aim. Okay. Sebab tak sampai. Alright, for like 50 meter macam tu memang saya kena cari pokok. Sebab even the wind indicator pun, okay tak sampai. Okay, carilah pokok sikit. Okay. So itulah.
Okay.
So kalau masa tu, my arrow dia akan singgah bulan dulu. Lepas tu balik.
Okay. So which is kita akan nampak dia ni pop.
Yes, macam tu.
Okay, interesting. So kalau tak ada pokok macam mana?
Kalau tak ada pokok tu jadi masalah lah. Memang pandai-pandai lah. Tapi alhamdulillah setakat ni memang ada je yang boleh aim.
Boleh survive lah?
Boleh survive.
Okay,
boleh survive.
Kiranya terima kasih kepada pokok jugalah.
Ya, terima kasih pokok.
Kalau tak, saya kata Dr. Fatin tu orang kata susah lah nak ada. Tapi apa-apa pun rezeki juga kan, effort juga kan. Tanya soalan yang high level sikit. Nah lah high level lah. Kita dah cakap pasal MSSS, MSSD, MSSM dan semua dan sebagainya. Okay, kita nak cakap sikit lah berkaitan dengan peralatan, which is memang dalam memanah ni 70%, not 70 lah, 60%, 40%, it depends how equipment tu membantu you as an individual lah. Tapi my question was based on your opinion lah. Okay, investment pada equipment lagi penting ataupun skill lebih penting? Based on your pendapat and as a coach, as a archer.
Okay, both pun important. Okay, it must come together lah. Okay, nak kata satu-satu tak juga. But for me, I will go for skill and physical fitness dulu. Okay. Still, okay, untuk beginner level, macam mana pun memang kita kena start with the beginner bow. Okay. Sebab beginner bow will help a lot untuk orang, apa nama dia ni?
Orang yang baru
start
nak belajar teknik dan sebagainya. The basic lah of memanah.
So bila kita tahu memanah ni very skillful, you know. Okay, dia bukan satu hari terus dapat. Even 1 tahun pun tak tentu lagi. Okay, because our sport is a repetitive movement. Okay, dan kita memerlukan muscle memory. Okay, dan kalau kita nak invest on equipment, okay, kita kena ikut level of the athletes. Means kalau skill dia dah betul-betul strong, and then dia punya physically pun strong untuk dia upgrade from every poundage tu, each poundage dia naik, then okay. So macam for me, if saya ajar, we will start at 14 pound je pun. Okay, 14 pound. Sebab kita nak dia rasa, kita nak tengok skill dia letak dekat mana dulu. Then bila dia dah boleh buat benda tu, kita nampak okay dah ringan, dia boleh adapt. We increase a little bit, little by little. Okay. So nowadays, the trend is mungkinlah juga, okay, distance yang menyebabkan distance yang menyebabkan macam I have to buy a high-end bow so that baru boleh sampai. No, actually tak juga, because I like to share macam kalau kita tengok our neighbor Indonesia, kalau you follow them, they set their wooden bow macam full set. So wooden bow with stabilizer, bukan stabilizer biasa, high-end stabilizer, Shibuya sight. Yes. Beater plunger.
Itu memang
yes, but then it's just a wooden bow.
It's just a wooden riser and limb
wooden. Yes.
Progressor punya. Okay.
Like dulu kita pakai summit kan?
Yes.
They just macam tu because dia nak their athletes nak betul-betul skill dulu. Okay. So bila dia dah boleh dapat the skill, dia boleh repeat the same thing. Okay, baru they start investing to an advanced bow.
Which is the foundation dia tu dah kukuh. And then baru dah dia go with a equipment yang high level, not high brand macam tu lah.
It's not really high brand, but intermediate to professional. Yes.
Sebab dia dah lepas beginner level.
Okay. It's nothing wrong with using a wooden ball at all. Tapi cuma maybe lah, kids nowadays kan tak style lah macam
tak style, tapi
tak style.
Ada setengah berpendapat bahawanya sebab nak invest one time. Nak invest one time, and then that's because of kita punya sukan memanah ni. Kita banyak guna inner muscles and like you mentioned just now, untuk adaptation tu agak lambat sikit sebab kita ada muscle memory. So when we talk about science, of course lah, muscle memory take times lah. And then with using a inner muscles and everything. So disebabkan memanah ni tak berapa orang tahu dia punya corak dia, which is physical, sebab orang nampak macam randomly you size apa pun you boleh memanah. So dia fikir macam okay, kita bagi equipment yang canggih, yang berat, yang terlatest. So budak ni boleh shoot jauh and dapat score. Randomly macam tu lah kan. So macam rata-rata nowadays is parents lah. So macam Dr. Fatin, you bring as a coach, right? So you bring as a coach. Effect, which is what the effect parents punya that talk lah, pemikiran yang mengatakan yang bahawa equipment tu membantu anak dia tu, and you as a coach lah kan, based on opinion, dia membantu ke tak bagi you, and then give a pressure tak untuk athlete tu untuk achieve the performance dan sebagainya lah. Sebab bila parents ada that kind of talk, dia boleh menyebabkan atlet tu sendiri ada rasa pressure dan sebagainya. Betul tak? So what's in your opinion?
Okay, so I understand yang macam ada parents yang nak invest satu kali. But sorry to say, actually dia memang tak boleh invest satu kali. No, that's not how it works. Okay, maybe we can invest satu kali on the handle, okay, on the riser, or on other accessories. Tetapi limb tetap kena upgrade. Tetap kena upgrade. We cannot, okay, macam let's say lah, dia dah boleh tarik 20 pound. Okay, but then to shoot 30 meter, at least you need 26 pound. At least. But then from 20 to 26 is quite berat for them. Okay, berat. Jadi macam mana pun memang kena progress. Okay, so shortcut is memang you need them to physically fit lah. Okay. Untuk my archers, our archers, memang kita, memang dia datang kecil je. Saya macam, alamak, macam mana ni? Like very small, macam bowl lebih besar. Yes. Okay. So macam mana dia nak angkat bowl? So I was like, okay, I was there one time. So tak apa.
Kita boleh buat lah.
Kita boleh buat. So we go triple on physical fitness.
Okay.
Not double, we have got triple. Kenapa? Sebab kalau you tak fokus on their physical, you suruh dia training every day, diorang takkan dapat what we want.
Betul.
But once diorang kuat, then okay, bagilah apa pun, they can do it. So in terms of investing, yes, dapat parents yang supportive, memang nak invest tu memang bagus. That's one thing lah, because during my time susah jugalah nak invest sebab barang mahal kan. So nowadays parents memang tak ada masalah.
Betul.
But ada but lah, ada tapi. Tapi kalau boleh, please go by level, go by process. Kesian dekat anak-anak. Okay, doesn't mean okay you beli yang paling canggih tapi dia tak boleh dia boleh tarik, but maybe not with the correct form, not with the correct skill. Okay, satu, dia tak akan dapat 100% of the what do you call this, advantage of the bowl lah. Okay, sebab skill dia tak sampai.
Faham.
Itu satu. Mungkin akan ada dekat perubahan posture. Okay, perubahan posture ni sangat penting. Okay, you kena jaga posture. Sebab kita ni main boleh kena scoliosis. Okay, scoliosis. That is based on my experience lah. Okay, other than that, bila kita tak cukup kuat, kita paksa juga with high poundage, lead to injury lah.
Betul?
Bila lead to injury, banyak benda tak boleh buat. Dan macam tu sajalah. So I think I could say that investment is important, but please start with a very good basic, a very good foundation lah. Baru baru bila kita invest tu
baru worth
Yes.
Kena lah orang kata kan. Sebab yelah, sebab parents dia nak kejar achievement, dia nak kejar anak-anak dia tu dapat medal. Okay, so bila kita cakap pasal tu, you punya pendapat lah, budaya terlalu kejar medal ni, orang kata kejar achievement ni, seawal MSSD ataupun seawal MSSS ni, benda tu akan affect passion and motivation athlete lah kan?
Yes.
Betul tak? Ataupun you ada pendapat lain yang you boleh olahkan?
Okay, I think budaya mengejar medal ni is for me, sebab dia orang budak lagi.
Betul.
Okay, lebih-lebih kalau under 12, okay, they're kids. So, kalau kita belajar fundamental means fun, F-U-N. Okay, fun. Kena ada fun. Okay. So, first kita kena tahulah kenapa kita hantar anak-anak kita untuk memanah. What's the purpose?
Betul.
Kalau betul, okay, nak hantar, lepas tu nak kejar medal. Then train like ni lah, professional athlete. Which itu memang agak susah
high
lah kan.
High performance athlete lah.
Yes, if itulah parents nak kan. Okay, I hantar you memanah, I want you to win medal. Train macam professional. Tapi kalau kita sekadar, okay, bagi dia ada aktiviti, okay, memenuhkan so that ada benda dia buat daripada dia waste time macam tu. So kita kena understand. Okay, bagi dia masa. Okay, give time because progress needs time.
Betul.
Okay, for me, I think by pengalaman 3 tahun. 3 years, after 3 years baru kita boleh dapat achievement. Itu pun sebab diorang training hujung minggu je. Maybe kalau yang memang training every day, every evening yang ada time, okay, mungkin lebih cepat 2 tahun macam tu. Because kita tak tahu, ada yang sekolah pagi petang and they don't half time, only hujung minggu kan. Mana yang memang satu sesi akan cepat lah. But then itulah, throughout the process, macam mana kita punya progress tu.
Based on individu jugalah kan.
Yes, based on individu.
So budaya terlalu kejar medal ni, kalau boleh orang kata macam untuk sukan memanah lah, don't lah kan, better. Boleh lah tapi
boleh,
individu.
Macam okay, kita kena be realistic kan. Kalau we know that our our athlete tu memang mampu, we can push, yes, why not. Tapi kalau dia macam setahun jagung, alah janganlah, kesian tau. Dia pun nak have fun.
Betul,
I can see that nowadays macam kita pergi tengok game yang bawah 12, bawah 15
yang
kan?
open. Sekarang ni dah ada open untuk bawah 12,
especially
15.
yang under 12. Kesian. I think during my time tak kisah pun. Shoot lah macam mana pun, as long as we have fun dulu.
Betul.
This one macam dah hit merah, lepas tu parents tanya, kenapa hit merah? I was like, janganlah macam tu. It's not easy. Let them shoot, let them have fun. Bagi diorang ada experience. Nanti bila dia matang, dia understand, then they will
go for it.
Yes, they will go for it.
And dengan willingness sendiri.
Yes, because I think ramai yang just stop like that because atas paksaan. The pressure from parents. So macam, I think that's not healthy lah in our sports, you know. Banyak sangat I tengok macam tu. Under 12 nanti masuk sekolah menengah, dah tak main. So why? Because pressure lah from parents macam tu.
Which is kita nak dia sustain lama dalam sukan ni. Kalau boleh nak elakkan negatif-negatif yang macam tu lah. Boleh kata. Okay, kita dah dengar sendiri orang kata pengalaman dari athletes dan juga jurulatih daripada Dr. Fatin. Banyak juga kita dengar and sharing yang sangat orang kata, for me, banyak boleh guna untuk adik-adik and juga parents and coaches as well lah. Kita nak masuk sikit, nak masuk sikit orang kata gosip-gosip sekarang ni lah kan. Gosip-gosip dunia sekarang ni. Okay, latest news gang. Latest news, Compound will be part of Olympic 2028.
Yeah, I got that news this morning juga. Okay, 10 hari bulan 4.
10 hari bulan 4, which is me as a ex-Olympian, not ex lah, si Olympian juga kan. Recurve. And bila dengar finally Compound,
it's in macam like finally it's I think last minute dorang masukkan.
Last minute.
Because macam baca news tu macam because sebelum ni memang they decide not to. Memang tak, macam tak ada harapan lah. And then tiba-tiba pagi tadi buka-buka ni macam wah, this is something good lah.
Blown mind lah juga for me lah. As a recurve tu kita macam, yelah banyak, even me also lah, bila dah tahu Olympic and then recurve, of course semua orang nak go for it lah.
Yes.
But kita pun wonder juga untuk compound. So, apa pendapat you bila dengar berita-berita macam tu kan? You mesti ada macam merasai sesuatu kan? Orang cakap, boleh share sikit tak apa yang rasa?
Satu tu macam terkejut jugalah. I mean like, betul ke ni ya? So it's like, it's all over the news.
Yes.
And people been sending in juga message on that. Dan macam, I think okay. So now, although dia satu event saja, it's only the mixed team. And it's gonna be tough, obviously, because mixed team ni memang both archers are very, very strong.
Yep.
Okay, but compound in Olympic is something, yes. Macam tu. Something, yes. Okay. Sama ada kita qualify atau tak, but means there's a chance.
Betul.
Selama ni kita tak boleh angan-angan pergi Olimpik.
Betul.
Because it's not even there. So macam, so tak boleh letak angan-angan I want to be Olympian, tak boleh.
Sebab tak pernah pun tak ada kan. Orang kata kalau pernah ada, lain.
Yes.
Ni orang kata memang official ada.
Okay. And selama ni orang tanya, bila you nak pergi Olimpik? So I said, I'm sorry, compound tak dalam Olimpik. Okay, now bila you nak pergi Olimpik? I'll try my best.
Okay, kita nak cakap macam tu kan. Kita nak tahu juga target Dr. Fatin untuk yelah bila dah this news keluar, and then peluang tu I can set lah as a orang yang tengok juga career you kan. I boleh cakap you not like easy lah, tapi you punya tahap level you tu sekarang ni pun dalam world ranking pun boleh nampak easy for you to go there lah. Tapi walaupun kita kena tanya tu orang punya badan kan, preparation tu apa semua tu kan, bila dengar ni rasanya preparation ada tak?
Ada. Okay, dia macam lain sikit semangat dia lah. Dia macam okay, compound dalam Olympic lain macam preparation dia. Okay, sebab it's not easy. Olympic preparation ni for me lah, dia bukan macam game lain-lain. Dia memang you kena 200%.
Yep.
Okay, 200%. We as an athlete, kita tahu. So so this year ada SEA Games. Next year insyaAllah kalau dipanggil untuk main ada Asian Game. Okay, and then the following year ada SEA Game lagi. Then baru Olympic, right? Okay, so 3 years preparation. Okay, untuk pergi Olympic is not easy. Memang kena qualify.
Betul.
Okay, qualify dekat every world game.
Yes.
Dan world game pun bukan easy.
Yep.
So I think since now I can fully focus on my shooting. Okay, sebab semua ni dingong belajar. Okay, memang susah lah. You nak ni kan, you have to write, okay, and then you have to give time. So now I think I can fully focus lah. Dah tak perlu fikir apa-apa. The only focus I have is setiap game, okay, sampailah the qualifying Olympic, okay, sebab kita kena qualify. So throughout that process, setiap game tu saya kena perform.
Give the best lah.
Give the best, because you want to qualify Olympic, you berlawan dengan world champ.
Betul.
Okay, if you cannot win World Cup, World Champ or any other games, then it's gonna be hard.
Betul.
So you kena put your position at least top 8. Sampai quarter final dulu. The least we can go lah.
Betul.
Baru then kita fikir another ways tu. Okay, macam mana kita nak improve lagi.
Tapi kan, the news ni dia macam is like a hadiah untuk you juga tau.
Yes.
Sebab semalam kan dia lepas the Viva tu kan, dia macam finally untuk education. And then today dia keluar that news tu. I feel like macam memang meant for you ke?
I don't know. It's like betul. I mean like every athlete lah kan, semua dream nak pergi Olympic.
Betul.
Siapa je tak nak pergi kan?
Betul.
That's the orang kata highest lah. So I think yesterday I passed my Viva. Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
And then this morning dapat pula tiba-tiba compound dalam Olimpik. Wah, what a news. So macam so maybe macam okay, maybe sebelum ni maybe Allah cakap okay, habiskan belajar dulu.
Yeah.
Habiskan. Then like betul-betul dah habis. The next day you dapat macam
Allah, Masya Allah.
Yeah, Masya Allah, you have like okay, this is another you know,
beautiful
thing.
path. Beautiful path. It's like a unexpected.
Betul. Because macam sebelum ni kan, okay dah habis belajar, you nak buat apa?
Betul.
Sedangkan kita nak main lagi. But then Olimpik tak ada pun. So macam tak nampak sangat kan. Tak berapa clear. Although macam okay, I still want to represent the country untuk the SEA Games, Asian Games, okay, macam tu. And then tiba-tiba hari ni dapat Olimpik 2028. Wah, ni macam lama lagi lah. So macam okay, so this is it. This is the next
target and which is the next focus. You focus on in life. Sebab kalau ikutkan in education, you dah paling high dah.
Habis
dah kan, dah habis dah kan. So memana lagi, I see it's beauty lah. It's very beauty lah actually. It's very beauty for you lah actually. But whatever it is, as a junior and also archer juga, I really pray the best for you.
Thank you.
And then don't forget to share with adik-adik kat luar sana kan. Okay, so for the last, kita nak dengar kata-kata semangat ataupun apa yang you boleh nak share ke ataupun nak memberi dekat adik-adik yang akan menyertai kejohanan-kejohanan daripada MSSS ke MSSM. And for next lah, apa you punya, what you want to say to them?
Okay, so kepada adik-adik di luar sana, all the archers sama ada baru atau lama, okay, kalau you nak berjaya, okay, you wanna ada cita-cita nak masuk national team one day, keep going. Okay, sebab dalam memanah, proses dia bukan senang. Ups and down itu normal. Jatuh banyak kali itu normal. Tak jatuh tu masalah. Okay, so every time you fail, tidak bermaksud anda gagal. Tapi itu something you learn something new. Okay, so setiap kali jatuh, setiap kali kalah, kita tak panggil kita kalah, cuma kita belum berjaya. Okay, heads up. Okay, paling penting for me is discipline. Once you have discipline, you won't skip your training. Okay, dua ni penting. Sebab untuk kita berjaya, kita kena usaha. Sama macam kita belajar. Okay, nak berjaya dalam exam, kena belajar. Nak berjaya dalam manah, kena training. Okay, so teruskan usaha. Saya doakan yang terbaik untuk semua. Semoga adik-adik di luar sana satu hari nanti akan berada dalam national squad juga. Amin.
Okay, thank you so much for watching and thank you for sharing with us.
Thank you for having me.
Everything thank you lah actually, sebab tak ternilai lah apa yang you share dekat kita semua. Alright guys, kita jumpa lagi for next podcast kita. So nanti ada apa-apa nanti boleh bagi tahu lah topik apa. Bolehlah komen-komen Alright, bye.